I treat every haircut as if this person, like, it's do or die, and this person will not be able to live with themselves if they don't have a great haircut. But it only pushes you to become better, right? I was always the kid cutting my friends in the garage sort of thing, but I never assumed that it would, kind of snowball into something more. I went to college, did the whole traditional route, and after I came out of college, I really still didn't have any direction. And coincidentally, my mother was opening up her own salon. And she said, hey, why not come work for me? And it was like a pivotal moment where I did my first haircut on the floor at my school, and I was like, yep, this is it, And I sort of realized from there, and 6 years later, I'm still cutting hair, doing it. Being that I went the cosmetology route before I became a barber, I was really one of the only guys in my class. So I was still like out of place and uncomfortable in my own skin because I was the minority. I had a sea of ladies around me, which you think would be cool, but really I was so insecure and like self-conscious, and but I did my first couple of haircuts. I trained on women and I loved it. Comparatively, it's so easy to look at someone else's work and feel lesser than. That being said, I mean, yeah, to this day I still have my doubts, but in my opinion, fear sort of serves as a catalyst of growth. Having that fear, you can either let it, take over and sort of control you, or you can face it and grow as a person and try and learn and adapt as best as you can. You can give the best haircut in the world, but it's subjective to the person who is sitting in your chair, so it's more of the experience that you're providing. I personally believe that if you give an okay haircut or a good haircut, compared to like the most amazing haircut, but you make that person laugh, you really listen to them, you consider their feelings and how they want to wear their hair, that's going to mean more to them, and that's what's going to bring them back. I've had some of the best people run their fingers through my hair, and we didn't connect personally on a personal level, and if I were paying for that service, I wouldn't go back to them. I would much rather have a lesser than haircut and have a better experience. I get the biggest high after, like, not only if you're like, chatting it up and going back and forth and there's great banter, but aside from that, like, if the person really feels good about their haircut, and you can tell, it's an intuitive thing. Like, sometimes words aren't even really spoken or don't need to be spoken, and you can just tell that person feels good about themselves, and that to me is like the best feeling in the world, like just seeing someone transform, you feel good about their haircut and they feel good about themselves. There are days that are really tough, I'll take 3 extra clients, or I'll be overbooked, or late day in the shop and I'm just drained because I've had 12 to 15 conversations with 15 different people. It's also kinesthetic as well, so that's another element to the job. You're standing up, you're moving around, and then you're conversing with these people as well. So it's both physically and mentally draining, and there's those days where you're like, man, like, how much more can I take of this, or do I want to keep doing this? But then you'll have that one last client and you'll rock the haircut and they feel great about you and maybe even give you a great tip, and you're just like, okay, this is why I'm doing this. I believe that everyone gives it their best. There's times where I lay up at night, like, man, like, dang, like I didn't do the best job, or that person was. It is gut-wrenching, it really is. So an analogy I use is like, you gotta be a duck on the water. Like, on top of the water, they look so graceful just gliding across, but underwater, you're just kicking away. So, I'm a nervous wreck and building up all this anxiety inside, and I do the big reveal, and I'm thinking like, man, they're gonna hate this. And they're like, it looks great, and they light up and you're like, whew. It's just a wave of emotions that comes with this industry, honestly. Every client's different, every personality comes with, it's a whole mix of things that you have to be prepared for. You sort of have to be a social chameleon, be able to talk up anyone and get a feel for if they want to talk, if they don't want to talk, and if they enjoy the haircut, if they didn't enjoy the haircut. But that's something you learn in time. I think that's kind of what sets the bar between good and bad hairdressers or barbers is, there's people who turn and burn, don't even offer to wash them out or style them, and they just get them out the door and have the next person sit in before they sweep up or anything. Like, I clean my station in between every service. I wash every client, I style every client. It's just something I add to the service that makes me better, and it makes this person feel better. Even if I hit the lottery tomorrow, I think I would still be doing hair, honestly. It might not be as much, because honestly, my overall goal is to not do hair to make a living, I just do hair for fun. Advice, I don't know. It's funny to say that because I don't look at myself as some seasoned, guru in the industry, but if I had any advice for newcomers or just anyone interested in the industry at all, I would just say treat every client as best as you can and take everything in stride, as well as one haircut at a time, and try and find that balance. You got to learn to love it as well, and the blessing of it all is that you get a new experience every 45 minutes to an hour, however you book out,